Hi, I'm Lindsay. What if I told you that you could eat clean, be healthy, lose weight, and still eat waffles and tacos and hamburgers and pasta? Would you be interested in learning more? So that's what I'm here to do. I want to show you some of my go-to favorites on how to kind of shave off some calories from some of your favorite dishes. So first off, lately I have been obsessed with Van's whole wheat waffles. You can buy them in the frozen section of probably most grocery stores, pop them in the toaster oven, add a teaspoon or a tablespoon of your favorite nut butter. I like the almond butter, and then I'll top it with a couple of fresh berries, and that really tides me over for the next 2 hours or so. It's yummy, it's decadent, and it's not going to ruin your day or leave you craving sugar hours later. Another little tip, start your morning with your coffee. You don't need to add all the creamers and the sugars. There's so many healthier alternatives. When I'm really craving a decadent coffee, I often actually blend up my hot coffee. I add about 15 ounces into my blender with about a tablespoon or two of unsweetened coconut milk or almond milk. I love to add in extracts. Those are a great way to add flavor. So I like the caramel one, even vanilla. This is a coffee extract that I often use in maybe some of my shakes. And add a teaspoon of coconut oil, blend that up, and it comes out to like a frothy, yummy coffee that you just feel like you're drinking a full fat latte over at Starbucks. So that's one of my kind of morning tips. I also love, hot tea. Start your day with a cup of hot tea or in the afternoon. Really it's a nice time, like if you start to feel like you're hungry, but it's not really maybe time to eat yet, I would try and add in a cup of hot tea. Try not to add a lot of sweeteners, maybe opt for a little bit of agave or honey. That's always a great alternative to those packaged sweeteners that you can get. If you're craving something sweet or crunchy, I also love to cut up a bunch of apples and top it with just some cinnamon. That's great that way. Or if you really need a little bit more, you can, dip it in some almond butter or even drizzle it with a little bit of honey or agave. And that kind of really satisfies my sweet tooth or, crunch, if I'm looking for some crunch in the afternoon. I still love burgers and I'm not willing to give those up. So a lot of times when my family's making burgers, my husband will grill them. I'll take, 3 pieces of like the big lettuce, like the bib lettuce, so you can really get your hands around. Put the burger in there along with some yellow mustard. I love hot sauce. That's kind of my way to spice things up. I often add hot sauce to a lot of things. You can stuff it with tomatoes and just all sorts of yummy veggies that won't make you feel like you're missing out. And I would often serve that with like a half a sweet potato or make my own sweet potato fries or sweet potato rounds where you just take a sweet potato and kind of cut it into, I don't know, like a ½ inch thick pieces and top it with cinnamon and just roast it in the oven. My kids and even my husband, who was not a sweet potato lover, he really loves those as well. So that's kind of one of our go-to carbs if we're looking for a carb for dinner. Also, still love pasta. Still love my spaghetti, my meat sauce. Whole wheat pasta is often a great alternative. I would try and limit your intake to about 2/3 of a cup of whole wheat pasta and top it with your favorite lean tomato sauce. If you're adding meat or just regular tomato sauce and veggies. I also have fallen in love with the spaghetti squash. I think it's a great alternative to pasta. This would be a couple of servings actually, and I would just cut it in half, scoop out the seeds, throw it in the oven at about 350 for, 45 minutes or so. Maybe season it with a little bit of ground black pepper and Himalayan sea salt. You just scoop it out with your fork and, you've got a couple of servings right there of spaghetti squash pasta. Top it with, an extra lean ground beef and tomato sauce with a lot of fresh herbs and, maybe a nice big green salad on the side. It's still going to satisfy your crave for, your craving for that pasta. Let me think, what else do I have here? I often cook with coconut oil. I really replace that with, I would say my oil is 90% of the time. I even cook my scrambled eggs in, a teaspoon of coconut oil. A lot goes a long way. You do not need a lot of this stuff. And as you can see, the jar is almost empty, so I go through it a lot. So that's a great, you can also like baking, you know, if I'm gonna bake brownies or even healthy peanut butter bars, anything that calls for oil, I always use the coconut oil. There's just so many health benefits to it. Like I said, I mean, cinnamon, you can top so many different things with cinnamon, you know, even your healthy latte, and it really, you know, adds a lot of flavor. Salads, a lot of times I add, you know, just a rice wine or a red wine vinegar, or even just fresh lemon, fresh lime juice, maybe in a little bit of fresh orange, freshly squeezed orange, with just a tiny drizzle of olive oil. Add some garlic and some, you know, Himalayan sea salt and ground pepper, and you know, you've really got yourself and your family a nice salad. You know, hopefully you've given up soda by now, but if you haven't, you know, I would try LaCroix. I was never even really a soda drinker, but I have fallen in love with LaCroix. I find that it, I don't know if I want something sweet or decadent, you know, I guess decadent's not the right word, but if I want something, you know, that I'm not supposed to have, the LaCroix kind of fills that void for me. And, you know, there's no calories, and, you know, it's a great alternative. So anyways, those are some of my tips, my go-to. So hopefully you'll take a couple of these away and maybe try a few of the quick and easy recipes. You know, tacos are also another thing that I do a lot. I'll do even ground beef or the chicken tacos, wrap them in lettuce. I make my own seasoning. You know, if you just kind of Google healthy taco seasonings, it'll tell you, put in, you know, garlic salt, garlic powder, and it'll tell you, you know, cumin and oregano and paprika and maybe a little bit of Himalayan sea salt. But anyways, you can kind of create your own healthy taco seasoning, you know, top it off with some hot sauce and some fresh veggies, and you've got yourself a nice dinner with, you know, a nice little salad or some fresh corn on the side. So anyways, I hope that you have a couple of takeaways from today, and I can't wait to hear what you decide to use next. Have a great day.